Emma Carson was 19 years old, college sophomore, biology major. She took the 6:15 bus home every Tuesday and Thursday. After her lab classes. The route was familiar, safe. She'd made this trip 100 times. Get off at Maple Street, walk 3 blocks, turn left on Oak. Home was the blue house on the corner. But on this particular Thursday evening, something felt wrong. 3 men got off the bus behind her. She noticed them immediately. Mid-20s, worn clothes. That look in their eyes. The look that made her grip her backpack tighter. They stayed behind her. Not close, but not far enough. Matching her pace. When she sped up, they sped up. When she slowed down, they slowed down. Emma's heart started racing. She pulled out her phone. Thought about calling someone. But who? The police? And say what? 3 men are walking behind me? She was 3 blocks from home. From safety. From her dad. This is the human stories, where we share moments of protection, justice, and what happens when predators choose the wrong victim. This is the story of 3 men who followed a college girl home, and the Army Ranger father who was waiting. Some people hunt the vulnerable. Some people protect them. And some people have spent 20 years learning how to stop threats before they escalate. Emma walked faster. The 3 men kept pace. She could hear them now, talking, laughing, making comments loud enough for her to hear. Hey, where are you going so fast? We just want to talk. Don't be rude. We're being friendly. Friendly. Right? Emma didn't respond. Didn't look back. Just kept walking. 2 more blocks. She could see Oak Street now. Almost there. Her phone buzzed. Text from her dad. Made your favorite for dinner. See you soon, Kiddo. She wanted to call him. But she didn't want to scare him. And maybe these guys would just lied. Maybe they'd get bored. Maybe she was overreacting. She turned onto Oak Street. 1 block left. The blue house was visible now. Dad's truck in the driveway. Lights on in the living room. The men turned onto Oak Street behind her. Emma's hands were shaking now. She walked faster. Almost running. 50 yards. 40, 30. One of the men called out. Hey, where are you going? We know you heard us. 20 yards. We can see where you live now. Might come back later. 10 yards. Emma reached the front door. Fumbled with her keys. Dropped them. Picked them up. Her hands were shaking so badly, she could barely get the key in the lock. The 3 men were at the end of her driveway now. Standing there. Watching. Smiling. One of them called out, See you around, sweetheart. Real soon. Emma got the door open. Rushed inside. Slammed it behind her. Locked it. Leaned against it. Breathing hard. Trying not to cry. Her dad came around the corner from the kitchen. Tom Carson, 52 years old. Army Ranger. 20 years of service. Iraq, Afghanistan. Places he didn't talk about. He took one look at his daughter's face and knew. Emma, what's wrong? She couldn't speak. Just pointed at the door. At the window. At the 3 men still standing at the end of the driveway. Tom looked out the window. Saw them. Saw the way they were looking at his house. At his daughter's home. His home. His expression didn't change. But something in his eyes did. Something cold. Something dangerous. Stay here, he said quietly. Dad, don't. Stay here. Tom Carson opened the front door and stepped outside. The 3 men were still at the end of the driveway. Still talking. Still laughing. They saw Tom come out, and their smiles got wider. The leader, tall guy, maybe 27, sleeve tattoos, called out, Hey, old man. Nice daughter you got there. Tom walked down the driveway. Slowly, Calmly, his hands were relaxed at his sides. His voice was quiet when he spoke. You need to leave. The tall guy laughed. Or what? You gonna call the cops? We didn't do nothing. Just walking down the street. Public sidewalk, man. You followed my daughter home from the bus stop. Harassed her for 3 blocks. Threatened to come back. That's stalking. That's criminal harassment. And that ends now. The second man, shorter but built, stepped forward. Listen, old man. I'm 52, Tom said, his voice still quiet. I spent 20 years in the Army Rangers. 3 deployments to Iraq. 2 to Afghanistan. I've cleared buildings. Neutralized threats. Protected civilians from people exactly like you. The third man, skinny with bad teeth, laughed nervously. Okay, tough guy, whatever. You're just leaving. Right now. And you're never coming back to this street. Ever. The tall leader sneered. And if we don't? Tom's expression didn't change. Then I'll make you leave. And you won't enjoy it. The tall guy took a step forward. Trying to intimidate. Trying to look tough. You threatening us? No, I'm educating you. You picked the wrong girl. Wrong house. Wrong father. The shorter guy pulled something from his pocket. A knife. Small. Cheap, but still a weapon. Maybe you should go back inside, old man. Before someone gets hurt. Tom looked at the knife. Then at the man holding it. Then back at the knife. And smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. Son, I've had people point AK-47s at me. RPGs. IEDs. You think a gas station knife scares me? Inside the house, Emma was watching through the window. Her phone was out. 911 dialed. Finger hovering over the call button. Tom took a step forward. The 3 men tensed. Last chance, Tom said. Walk away. Right now. Or I'll give you a free demonstration of what 20 years of Ranger training looks like. The tall leader tried to save face. You can't take all 3 of us. Yes, I can. And then the tall guy made a mistake. He rushed forward. Threw a wild punch. Tom moved. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just efficient. He sidestepped the punch. Grabbed the man's arm. Applied pressure to the elbow joint. The tall guy yelped and dropped to his knees. 3 seconds. That's all it took. The shorter guy with the knife lunged. Tom released the tall guy, pivoted, caught the knife hand, twisted. The knife clattered to the driveway. The shorter guy joined the tall guy on the ground. 6 seconds total. The skinny guy turned to run. Tom let him. Didn't chase. Just called out. Take your friends with you. The skinny guy stopped. Turned. Saw his 2 friends on the ground. Tom was standing over them. Calm. Not even breathing hard. Help them up. All 3 of you leave. And if I ever see any of you on this street again, if I ever hear about you following anyone else's daughter, sister, or mother, I won't be this gentle. Understand? The skinny guy nodded frantically. Helped his friends up. The tall leader was holding his elbow. The shorter guy was holding his wrist. Both in pain. Both humiliated. They stumbled away. Down the street. Gone. Tom picked up the knife from his driveway. Walked back inside. Emma was standing in the hallway. Eyes wide. Phone still in her hand. You okay? Tom asked. She nodded. Are you? I'm fine, kiddo. They're gone. They won't be back. Dad, that was what I was trained to do. Protect people. Especially my family. Emma hugged him. Tight. Thank you. Always, Emma. Always. Emma called the police anyway. They took statements. Reviewed the security camera footage from their neighbor's house. The video showed everything. The men following Emma, the harassment, the confrontation, the knife, Tom's controlled response. The officers looked at Tom with a mix of respect and understanding. Double quotes, sir. You're within your rights. They threatened you with a weapon on your property after stalking your daughter. Self-defense is clear. One of the officers, a veteran himself, shook Tom's hand. Thank you for your service, sir. And nice work. Clean. Professional textbook threat neutralization. Tom nodded. Just protecting my home. The three men were identified from the video. All had prior arrests. Harassment. Assault. One had a restraining order from an ex-girlfriend. They'd been doing this for a while. Following women. Intimidating them. But they'd never faced consequences. Never been caught. Never met someone who could stop them. Until now. They were arrested 3 days later. Charged with stalking, criminal harassment, assault with a weapon. The video evidence was damning. The case was solid. At the trial, Emma testified, described the fear, the helplessness, the relief when her dad stepped outside. The prosecutor asked, "Do you feel safe now?" Emma looked at her dad in the gallery. "Yes, I always have, because I know my dad will always protect me." All three men were convicted. 2 years in prison, 5 years probation, mandatory counseling, restraining orders, preventing them from coming within 500 feet of Emma's neighborhood. But the story didn't end there. A local news station picked up the story. Army Ranger father protects daughter from stalkers. The video went viral. Millions of views. Comments from other fathers, other veterans, other survivors of harassment. Tom received hundreds of messages. Women thanking him. Fathers asking for advice. Veterans saying they'd have done the same thing. One message stood out. From a young woman named Sarah. "Mr. Carson, thank you. 6 months ago, I was followed home just like your daughter. But my dad isn't a ranger. He didn't know what to do. The men came back. For 3 weeks, they harassed me. I had to move. Change schools. I was terrified every day. But your story, it reminded me that there are good men who protect, who stand up, who don't let predators win. Thank you for being that kind of man. Thank you for teaching your daughter that she matters, that her safety matters. The world needs more fathers like you." Tom showed the message to Emma. They both cried. 3 months after the incident, Tom was invited to speak at Emma's college. Campus safety seminar. They wanted him to talk about awareness, protection. Response. Tom stood in front of 200 students, mostly young women, all listening intently. "I'm not here to scare you," he began. "I'm here to educate you, because knowledge is power, and preparation is protection." He talked about awareness, how Emma noticed the men immediately, how she assessed the threat, how she headed toward safety. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't worry about being rude. Don't worry about overreacting. Your safety is more important than politeness. He talked about communication, how Emma didn't engage with the men, didn't give them an opening. If you're being followed, don't talk to them. Don't acknowledge them. Head to a public place, a store, a police station, anywhere with people and cameras. He talked about having a plan, how Emma knew her route, knew her safe spaces, had her phone ready. Always have a plan. Know where you're going. Know who you can call. Know your escape routes. Don't put yourself in positions where you're vulnerable and isolated. And then he talked about something harder, about fathers, about men, about responsibility. "I raised my daughter to be strong, independent, capable, but I also raised her knowing that the world isn't always safe, that there are predators, that sometimes strength isn't enough. Sometimes you need backup. He looked at the fathers in the audience. Teach your daughters to be aware, to be smart, to be prepared, but also always let them know that you're there, that they can call you, that you'll drop everything to protect them, because that's what fathers do. The students gave him a standing ovation. After the seminar, a young man approached. College junior, football player, built like a tank. Mr. Carson, I need to tell you something. I was one of those guys. Not like the ones who followed your daughter, but close. I'd catcall women, follow them for a few blocks. Just messing around, being funny. Ton's expression hardened. The young man continued quickly. But your story, it made me realize. It's not funny. It's not harmless. I was making women feel exactly how your daughter felt. Scared, unsafe, and I didn't even think about it. I'm sorry. I've stopped, and I've been calling out my friends when they do it. Because if you're right, if every woman is someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's friend, then I need to treat them the way I'd want someone to treat the women in my life. Tom studied him for a long moment, then extended his hand. Thank you for telling me, and thank you for changing. That takes courage. They shook hands. The young man walked away. Changed. Emma, who'd been standing nearby, smiled at her dad. You did that. No, kiddo. He did that. I just showed him why it mattered. 6 months later, Emma was walking home from the bus stop. Same route, same time. But this time, she wasn't alone. Her friend Jessica was with her. They were laughing, talking about exams, about spring break plans, normal college stuff. A car pulled up beside them. Slow. Window down. Emma tensed. Jessica noticed. Put her hand on Emma's arm. Ready to run. But it was just a dad, middle-aged, looking stressed. Excuse me, do you know where Pinewood Avenue is? My GPS is acting up. Emma relaxed. Gave him directions. The man thanked them and drove off. Jessica looked at Emma. You okay? You looked really tense there for a second. Yeah, just. Cautious. My dad taught me to always be aware. Your dad sounds awesome. Emma smiled. He is. He really is. They walked home together. Safe. Aware. Protected. Because sometimes the best defense is knowing that someone has your back. Always. No matter what. And Tom Carson? He was home. Making dinner. Waiting for his daughter. The way he always did. The way he always would. Because that's what fathers do. This is the human stories, where we believe that protection isn't about being tough. It's about being prepared. It's about teaching awareness while providing safety. It's about being the kind of person who stands between threats and the people they love. If you have a protective parent, sibling, or friend in your life, drop their name in the comments. Let's honor the people who keep us safe. Subscribe for more stories about courage, protection, and the quiet heroes who never let us face danger alone.